I don't know who wrote the list, but when I look at myself, God gave me a physique.
This is Jim Brown, the most devastating ball carrier in the history of football.
I was 6'2", 232 pounds, and I had quick distance speed, and the word got around that I was a different kind of guy.
An animal, a real raw talent, man. See, my father made me understand it. He said, watch this, boy. He don't run out of bounds. He gonna put his head down, he gonna get some more. And when he got tackled, he said, watch how slow he get up. He said, you know what that is? He said, in life, just get up slow, because you're gonna have to pick yourself up a bunch of times. Ain't no need to rush it. And this dude never missed a game. Every Sunday we watched, Jim Brown was on the field.
Jim Brown's the greatest back to ever play. He was a bad man. And not only on the field, Jim Brown being an activist had an impact on me as well.
He was around at a time, man, where America was trying to change with civil rights. And for him to be an athlete and get involved in it was like inspirational, because I'm like, man, this is Jim Brown saying we got to stand up, stay together. That was Jim Brown out there on the front line.
He also was very keen on economic issues, which for most black athletes, they never ever were connected with that. Jim Brown tried to bring the community together in ways that had nothing to do with sports. And he pursued acting incredibly. He had some good roles and played in some good movies.
I want more mental stimulation. I want to have a hand in the struggle that is taking place in our country.
His footprint was so big that the respect you have for him and how he's changed the game and set the blueprint for all the backs who played this game is very impactful.
You know, you gotta look for a little black kid back in the 60s, man. This is doable, you mean? And so, he was quite an inspiration.
How would you define game changer?
Tom Landry. Tom Landry, top to bottom. He was a fantastic coach. He stuck to his guns. When he took over Dallas, they weren't very good, and they made him great.
Of course, the nuts and bolts of the Dallas Cowboys is a man that wears a funny hat on the sidelines.
Coach Landry was the one that made it all tick and made it all work. He was a defensive coach that knew that if you could read an offense, you had an advantage. So what he did was on the offense was try to mess up the defense.
Stack a little bit more and your timing will be better.
So he really was a great X-No football coach, and he won for 19 years because he really truly understood the game of football.
If you get a double wing look in there, then switch your defense right there in the 41-30.
We stand on a lot of shoulders in the NFL. Certainly he was one of the guys that helped build the NFL from a coaching standpoint.
We talk about perfection, it's execution that you're after. And the team that can do that will normally win the football game.
They had that system. They would come up and shift and all the things he did, multiple formations and all that.
A lot of shifting.
Start where you're going to end up on a double shift, see? That way you can look at your situation before you shift the first time.
Tom did this to keep them from recognizing what the offensive formation was.
Shift, move, shift, move. You shift here, move across the formation.
And, we brought the shotgun in.
Shotgun, here it is.
They go from the shotgun. Roger looks left, fires it out there, caught by Tony Hill. Touchdown, Cowboys!
Then, on defense, he structured their offset defense.
We just try to offset some of our linemen to give us in a better position to control the types of blocking that they use today.
Very tough to go against that Dallas flex defense.
Coach Landry designed a flex defense that no one else have ever used, which is basically designed to force you in a sure passing situation. You cannot run on it.
They cannot run against the Cowboys.
So he structured the defense, worked with the offense, and they swore to me he would have input on special teams.
I enjoy smiling, but I don't enjoy it on the sideline. I'm all business.
And so I said, how am I supposed to beat that guy?
My high school coach let us pick our numbers, and I asked for number 19 because of Johnny Unitas. Yeah, and the cats used to call me Joey U for a while there.
Meeting Johnny Unitas for the first time, I'm starstruck. I mean, he's the only jersey I've ever purchased in my life.
Unitas goes back to throw, fires long, into the end zone, it's complete!
He came out every play, and he looked at the offense, looked at defense, then he called the play.
Second play, be a split right, fullback draw, both of them on run.
My high school coach, Max Carey, said, look, you're the boss on the field. He said, if you run this play or that play, you damn sure better have a good reason for it.
He made the call, nobody questioned it, but everybody had such faith in him.
Our ground camera catches Unitas as he drives for a touchdown against the Giants in last year's title game.
If I do my job and I call the game right, and if I put the ball where it's supposed to, we're going to win.
He won, for one thing. You see, winning is important, and just the way he carried himself. He was cool, he was calm.
He had control of the game, the offensive part of it all the time. And I think this got everybody's attention.
Well, everyone says, why did you gamble?
Why did you throw that pass? You could have kicked the field goal. And he looked at the guy and said, listen, if you know what you're doing, it's no big deal.
It wasn't a gamble because they didn't see what I saw.
He was a great technician. I mean, he played the position behind the center and in the pocket, and he was a precision passer. Just had that perfect spiral arc. Everything was perfect about his game.
Well, I don't have as strong an arm as I once had. That's understandable. It's a matter of knowledge and how to use it now.
When you look at his game, you'll see the rhythm passing game, the 5-step drop, the 3-step drop, the pump fake, the hurry-up offense. All these things are the things that he perfected and were copied by every quarterback from that point to this point today. Johnny, you were playing today, he'd be the best quarterback in the game.
The first time I ever met Lawrence Taylor was something I'll never forget. It took my breath away. LT comes in, it was like he wasn't walking. He was just gliding, like he was just standing there, but he was moving across the room. It was the weirdest thing. It was like, oh my God, just Lawrence Taylor. He was like a god, and he lived up to it as a player.
Hey, baby, let's go out there like a bunch of crazy dogs and have some fun.
I don't think there's been a game changer like him. During his heyday, he was an unstoppable force.
Running away from Taylor. You can't run away from him. He's like one of those heat-seeking missiles.
Guy was a superhero. As a kid growing up in Jersey, I would have put my money on Lawrence Taylor over Superman, Green Lantern, Batman, all of them put together.
He's an amazing individual. You're not dealing with a normal human being, normal football player here.
Guy was a terror.
Hey, Shula, you better hope I never get back in there. I'm gonna kick your ass.
To this day, the greatest football player that ever lived. Now, I'm not the only one that said that. When they were asking Belichick what they thought of Khalil Mack.
With a lot of respect to a lot of good players now, but we're talking about Lawrence Taylor.
He made every football team redesign their entire offensive scheme.
Wherever you run, you better block Lawrence Taylor.
Homeboy, we can't play that stuff on here. Y'all got to go to the other side.
One coach said to me, we actually had 4 separate blocking schemes put in this game for Lawrence Taylor. And he beat all 4 blocking schemes, 4 sacks. And he said, it's the only time in my life I've ever just thrown my hands up and said, there's nothing we could do.
Lawrence Taylor came along, and now you had to have a left tackle competent to block a player of his skill level.
Because of Lawrence Taylor, guys came up offensive tackles like myself, Willie Rove, Jonathan Ogden, Walter Jones. All these guys were more athletic and could move with some of those great athletes.
Listen, look, we got to rush them, we got to kick their what we got to do, let's get in and get the all right, let's go.
He redefined the whole position of outside linebacker. At that time, it wasn't set how we have it set now, where we're really defensive ends that rush. He'll also drop in coverage, and he'll get crucial picks.
The biggest defensive play of the football game, executed by Lawrence Taylor.
This was amazing to me. On the goal line, he played inside, and he was smashing running backs inside. He completely changed every facet of the game.
He started the strip sack of the quarterbacks. All of that you see now that people try to do was all LT.
Once he gets the quarterback in his sights, he's going to get him.
A lot of times you think of game changers more as offensive players because they have the ability to score touchdowns. But when I think of the word game changer, I think of Lawrence Taylor.
Son, I gotta do better than this.
I think when I came into the league, watching NFL films, I was scared to death of the guy.
Look, everyone likes going to concerts. Everyone likes superhero movies. Everyone likes pizza, right? Everyone fills out a bracket in March. Well, everyone should draft a fantasy football team. It's one of those things that we all do.
It's great to have a fantasy, I think. If you didn't have a fantasy, you couldn't live, they tell me. So I think it's great to play a little bit of fantasy football.
Every single week, you get to choose your favorite players and have your own team, be your GM, control your own fate, and play against your friends.
All right, you got me? Hey, all right, I'll try to do my best for you, okay?
It allows you to be competitive along with each one of the games, so every single game now matters to you.
Yeah, I'm killing the fantasy tonight.
It's a fun, easy to understand game that gives you a rooting interest in every single game.
Come on, Herschel, big day, baby! You're on my fantasy football team!
It's obviously been an incredible net positive for the game in terms of not only encouraging engagement, attention, growing audiences, but making people care about it on a deeper level.
Oh, I think they're great. I mean, it gives a fan an opportunity to really get involved with the statistical end of the game.
It's not only brought new audiences to the sport, it's also made existing fans care about things they didn't care about before.
Come on, my fantasy team needs you. Come on, Roddy.
I got you on my fantasy team. That's a beautiful catch. I need 3 more. It changes how you root. You're like, I want my team to win, but I want my team to win if the running back gets the goal line carried.
So happy I activated your ass on my fantasy team. Let's go, baby. Give me 6 points.
If you're a football fan, it will make you more of a football fan. If you're not a football fan, it gives you a reason to root.
Picked you on my fantasy team, Cal. Ultimate sign of confidence. That's right.
This is how I keep in touch with my family, my fraternity brothers and sisters.
Certain kinds of players get our attention that didn't get our attention before.
You better get me on your fantasy team today, baby. Hey.
For the players, they realize that it's a whole new fan base. A lot of players embrace fantasy football now. Candidly, many of them play.
I'll be honest, man. I play fantasy football.
I lost on both teams, man. Both teams took it.
As more and more people get exposed to fantasy football, they're going to love it as well.
How many you throw for? How many touches you got? It's 2. That's it. I need 2 more on my fantasy, dog.
The last Super Bowl, a science fiction story published in Gallery magazine. Someone was doing a computer simulation in boxing. What would happen if Rocky Marciano fought John L. Sullivan? And the computer predicted the winner. As a science fiction writer, I said, well, where's this going to lead? It's going to lead to people being able to create football games on their television sets. And I thought that would be very exciting and addictive. And it was. I was right about that. Essentially, I was predicting Madden Football.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to John Madden Football.
Instead of doing that, I obviously should have actually invented Madden Football, and then it would be Martin Football today.
I played Madden when I was growing up all the time.
I've been playing Madden all my life. I've just now stopped playing it so much because I got 5 kids.
As a way to just reach out to a younger audience or just anyone, it's a different way to play. I mean, you're literally playing the game.
If it's in the game, it's in the game. John Madden Football.
Where'd that truck come from?
So many people are playing the game, they feel like, okay, no, I'm actually learning football. I can tell you about coverages. I can tell you about, route concepts just from playing the game.
This isn't a bad time to run a draw or a screen. Even if the defense expects a run on first down, I'd still run it right at him.
It's a first down. We got 1:20 seconds left. Y'all boys gonna play Madden?
You got a 5-year-old playing Madden. They're talking about play calling and like different defenses, and whether they know it or not, they're learning the game.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. I just intercepted it, but it's not my fault.
Best game I ever seen. I played in last night. We was up till 5 in the morning. Man, me and my boys playing Madden. We went to overtime. Went 3 overtime. It was a good game. Greatest game I ever played that I've ever seen.
Now, especially with playing online, it's connecting people all over the world. I think Madden is a huge part of our culture.
The look, sound, the feel of the game.
Now this is what the game of football is all about.
You know, people don't say, I'm going to play video game football. People say, I'm going to play Madden.
Like they're playing Madden or something. They're just out there, ding, 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 ding.
People say, did you think when you started your video game would be this popular? And I say, no. That was luck. You know, I mean, there was no way we sat down or I sat down and said, I'm going to make a video. I didn't even know what a video game was. That's my game. What's yours?
Where I was wrong, though, is I predicted that real football would go into decline. By 2014, they'd be playing the last Super Bowl, and no one would care because everybody would be playing the computer games. That obviously proved to be incorrect.
Curly Lambeau, in the very infancy of the league, got together with a couple of dreamers and came up with this idea of playing professional football. And he knew that where he came from, Green Bay, Wisconsin, he could gather a team with the backing of a meat company.
Curly Lambeau, founder of the Packers, whose teams have won 6 world championships.
Curly Lambeau went down to Canton and bought the franchise for $50. Where would you ever suspected that a town of 45,000 would get a franchise and compete against the big cities in the National Football League? He was the first coach to use the passing offense as his basic offense. He was one of the first in the National Football League to throw the ball behind the line of scrimmage and complete them.
And another pair score, 6 big points for the Packers.
We were trying to project an image of professional football in those days, a good image. He was one of the founding fathers of professional football.
There is no doubt in my mind that the game of football is what it is today because of NFL films.
On Sunday, the game comes alive.
The music, the film, the language, the voice.
Pro football, the game for the ear and the eye. A 2.5-hour carnival of color, sound, and action.
It was a movie. They put and it brought the human drama, the personality of the players, of the coaches, into the living rooms of people all across the country and all across the world. It's a visual history of the greatest game we've ever created.
The tight shots of the ball.
Oh, the condensation blowing out their nose like bulls.
The snow falling, the mud-strewn jerseys.
You know, the historic games, the iconic players. I fell in love with the NFL, with the music and the Sam Spence music.
That, you know, iconic finger in the air when he's trotting off the field after a big win.
To Willie, it was just another play. But guarantee, it's never forgotten.
What the hell's going on out here?
The things that they have done with the wirings of players.
Regulator, mount up!
And we got a dandy brewing.
Pre-game speeches.
There's a gleam, man.
Halftime speeches.
Whatever you got, I expect that. On every face, God talking.
Post-game speeches. Your player interviews. Your players during the game calling plays in the huddle.
You have 92 double sting.
Hey, baby, let's go out there like a bunch of crazy dogs and have some fun.
And the voice of John Facenda.
The autumn wind is a pirate, blustering in from sea.
It's like, whoa. It was very dramatic and heightened. And any boy who is interested in storytelling and sports is like captivated by this.
If we die together.
Those were kind of what brought you into it, and it made it seem like much more than just a game. It made it seem like, you know, totally cinematic.
Mr. Official, let me ask you something.
Okay, Coach, go ahead.
How can 6 of you miss a play like that, huh?
Can I challenge that? No.
Gentlemen, no discussion really about the NFL in the 80s is complete without touching on the decade's most controversial innovation, instant replay.
Instant replay is really a development
of the success of television's marriage with football.
One of the moments that stood out that actually got instant replay started was the Renfro catch.
The Oilers 6 yards away from a tie. It is Renfro, touchdown, or is it? Of course, the officials did not have the luxury that we enjoy of seeing that instant replay. And now the Oilers are denied a touchdown. Oh, my.
People at home can see these things so much better than the guy down on the ground sometimes.
In March of 1986, the NFL adopted a one-year system of limited instant replay of officiating calls. The replay official will watch replay or replays on one or both monitors and complete his review within a reasonable period of time, probably 15 to 20 seconds.
I mean, when fans knew that I was going to be doing this, that was the number. Ask the officials, all the officials, past and present.
Never heard that. What do you think about
What do you
instant
think
replay?
I've got to ask.
I didn't like it when it came out the first 6 years where the replay man had total control.
They look discombobbled in the replay booth.
And when it came back again, the equipment was high-tech and the system was good. It's added a lot to the game.
He's got it wrapped up tight.
And the problems go away when something really big has been corrected.
There's so much riding on it. They need to make sure they get it right.
So to be reversed, it has to be, what's the word again?
Conclusive.
No, it's irrefutable.
Irreversible, irrefutable?
No, it's not irrefutable.
Inconclusive? I'm trying.
I don't officiate for instant replay. We officiate the game as we see it, our judgment and being trained to be in position to make the call. If we, in our human nature, miss a call, that instant replay is there to get it right.
If there's a grievous error out there that's going to decide a football game, let's use instant replay.
I agree with you 100%.
I'm thrilled to be part of this organization and to be able to have the opportunity to lead this team.
The biggest game changer in NFL history is Bill Belichick.
And the Patriots have won their 6th Super Bowl title.
He had the innate ability to pick players with certain skill sets and put them into a system to play and do exactly what he needed to do for that particular game, week, or whatever the case may be.
The way that you guys are able to shift your identity and really still be able to figure it out, I mean, week in and week out, it's unbelievable, man. It's really a credit to you guys, so much respect.
Playing against Bill Belichick for 11 years, he was able to bring an offensive mindset to the defensive side of football.
Just play the defense. That's all we got to do. You're not giving us anything we haven't seen before. There's no scheme plays. It's just disciplined football.
He gets a certain person to understand what their role is, and that's it. You don't really have to think too much more than that. You know your role, and if you're not serving your role, you're gone.
Let's go now, fellas. Just do your job. Come on, fellas, just do your job. Just do your job.
The preparation, the attention to details. It seemed like most of the times our games were won during the week before we even got to Sunday.
Understand how one stupid play, one stupid penalty, one mistake ends it for all of us.
When you look at an organization that has that level of detail, you look up and you wind up having 6 championships.
Oh, we're champs! We're champions!
He's been able to do it with so many different people, such a diverse group of personnel.
We got you. Thank you for believing in me. Oh, you bet.
Nobody else did.
He builds this team where these guys that you never heard of will come in and thrive there off his system.
Hey, you bring us the toughness we need, man. You made it happen, man.
And the haters start to realize, oh my God, Belichick is going to do it again.
It's an absolutely amazing coaching job.
In a transient league, for him to have the kind of success that he's had is nothing short of incredible and will never be duplicated.